Welcoming you all to this GATE class on structural analysis. In this week, we are going to concentrate on arches. So, what are the hints we have to remember for solving problems on arches? So, we know there are two types of arches which we concentrate more. That is, one is three-hinged arch followed by two-hinged arch. So, let us see some general conditions. So, we know how to analyze this three-hinged arch and two-hinged arch. So we will have some hints based on this analysis of three-hinged and two-hinged arches. So first, a three-hinged parabolic arch, three-hinged parabolic arch subjected to a UDL over the whole span. Three-hinged parabolic arch subjected to UDL over the entire span. So remember the drawing, what are the conditions we will have? So let us consider an arch. It is a three-hinged parabolic arch. So I am marking the three hinges. So it is subjected to a UDL throughout the span. So let it be of intensity W. So apart from this, let the ends of the arches be A and B. And there will be an horizontal thrust, and equal and opposite horizontal thrust will be on end B. So there will be vertical shear, that is VA and VB. So let length of the span be L and crown be marked as C, and we know this is the critical height, that is YC. So if we take a point S, the height of the span or rise of the arch at that point be Y. So we know how to analyze this arch. So while going to competitive exam, we don't have much time to solve all those derivations. So we have to keep remembering all those results. So here we are going to take hints for solving problems on arches. So for this condition, what will be the horizontal thrust? If you analyze, we will get, so VA is equal to, we know it is W, which is for the span L. So VA will be W L by 2 and VB is equal to WL by 2. So horizontal thrust H will be equal to WL square by 8H. WL square divided by 8H. When we take moment about a section X, when we take moment about a section X, that is Mx is equal to VA into X minus WX square by 2 minus H into Y. We are taking moment about X. We know VA into the distance is X minus W, that is the intensity of UDL, into X square by 2 minus H is horizontal thrust and Y is the distance or rise of the arch at point X, where H is the horizontal thrust and VA is the vertical reaction, and we know VA is equal to WL by 2. So apart from this, we have some points to remember, that is radial shear and normal thrust. So what is the formula for radial shear? S is equal to, about point X is equal to Bx cos theta minus Hs sin theta. Similarly, for normal thrust, Nx is equal to Vx sin theta plus hx cos theta. So we know what is this radial shear and normal thrust. If we take a section S, the arch will be cut like this. So it may be any direction. You can take X here or here. We have VA and H. So Vx and H. Apart from this, there will be an reaction which is acting in the direction of arch, which is known as normal thrust, and which acts in the perpendicular direction to the normal thrust is radial shear. So when we have a problem related to an arc subjected to UDL throughout this span, we have to use this formula. Radial shear Sx is equal to V cos theta minus H sin theta, and normal thrust N is equal to V sin theta plus H cos theta. So let's move on to the next loading condition. So the second loading condition is a 3-hinged semicircular arch, 3-hinged semicircular arch of radius r, a 3-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carrying a UDL over the entire span, or the whole span, over the entire span. So what will be the diagram? It is a circular arch and it is 3-hinged. So A, B and C, and it is subjected to a UDL throughout the span, and if the intensity be W, we know the radius, as it is mentioned as circular arch, the radius will be same everywhere. So let it be O. What are the forces, the reactions we will have? We will have VA, H and VB and H. So for this condition, what are the results we will obtain? H is equal to WR by 2, because it will be W by 2. We know this distance is R. So when we take moment about H, we will have minus W R square by 2 into sine theta minus sine square theta, and maximum bending moment, that is maximum moment, is equal to minus W R square by 8. We know that the bending moment above the crown is 0. And in this kind of arch, there won't be any point of contraflexure. So point of contraflexure. So contraflexure is nothing but where the bending moment changes its sign from positive to negative or negative to positive. So point of contraflexure is 0. So in case of 3-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carrying a UDL over the entire span, the horizontal thrust H is equal to WR by 2. And when we take moment about a point S, the formula will be minus WR square divided by 2 into sine theta minus sine square theta. And the maximum moment is minus WR square by 2 minus WR square by 8. And there won't be any point of contraflexure. Next, moving on to the third condition. So third condition is 3-hinged parabolic arch having abutments at different levels. 3-hinge parabolic arch having abutments at different level. So what does the word abutment means? It is nothing but the springings, that is the support. So here we have two subdivision. First one is when it is subjected to UDL. When it is subjected to UDL over the entire span. So the springings, that is the support, are at different levels. Now the diagram will be like this. So we will have support and it is a 3 hinge arch. So I will have a hinge at the crown. So we know the points B, A, B and C, and it is subjected to the UDL throughout the span. Let the intensity be W. So let H1 be the height of the support A and H2 be the height of the support B. And the length be L1 and L2 correspondingly. Similarly, we will have VA, VB, H, and of equal magnitude in opposite direction. So the results which we will obtain is HA is equal to HB is equal to WL square divided by 2 into root of H1 plus root of H2. If we are given a question in this condition, we can substitute the values directly in this result and we can make the answer quickly. So the formula for L1 is equal to L into root of H1 divided by root of H1 plus root of H2. Similarly, L2 is equal to L into root of H2 divided by root of H1 by root of H2. So it is nothing but for finding L1, we have to multiply root H1 with L divided by root of H1 plus H2. And for finding L2, we have replaced this H1 with H2. And same, the bending moment about the crown will be equal to 0. When instead of this UDL, if the beam is subjected to, so condition B, when, sorry, the arch is subjected to concentrated load. Concentrated load W at crown. So if we know what is crown and springing, concentrated load W at the crown. So this is the loading condition. So now the H will be horizontal thrust is equal to WL divided by root of H1 by, sorry, plus root of H to the whole square. Now the formula for horizontal thrust, H is equal to WL divided by root of H1 plus root of H to the whole square. So next condition, fourth condition. Three hinged semicircular arch carrying a concentrated load W at the crown. Three hinged semicircular arch carrying concentrated load W at the crown. So now what will be the diagram? It will be an semicircular arch with the 3 hinges. Let it be A, B, and the points be C. As it is a semicircular arch, The radius is same in all direction, that is R. And it is subject to a point load W at the crown. And the reactions are horizontal thrust and vertical shear, that is VA and VB. Now the results obtained is H is equal to VA is equal to VB is equal to W by 2. So horizontal thrust and the vertical shear in the case will be same and it will be equal to W by 2. So condition number 5 or temperature effect. Temperature effect on 3-hinged arches. Temperature effect on 3-hinged arches. So consider a 3-hinged arch. So ends B, A and B. Similarly, it will be subject to H and there will be reactions. So let it be the level. So due to the temperature change, the arch will be reduced in height or there will be an increase in the rise. So let us consider this. This is the changed shape of the arch and let it be del L. So del H. This will be the initial height H. So now the formula to find out the change in rise, that is del H is equal to L square plus 4H square divided by 4H alpha T, where del H is the free rise in crown height and L be the length of the arch. L be the length of the arch and H be the rise of arch and alpha be the coefficient of thermal expansion. Coefficient of thermal expansion and Tb rise in temperature in degree Celsius, mentioned in the unit degree Celsius. So next moving on to, so we have completed the hints for 3-hinged arches. Next we are going to move to 2-hinged arches. So 2-hinged arches. For 2-hinged arches, the points to remember are, we know the formula to find out horizontal thrust H is equal to integral over My ds by Ei divided by integral over U square ds by Ei. And we know the analysis of 2-hinged arches is somewhat difficult than 3-hinged arches. So it will be very useful when you make hint of the results of the analysis so that you can use the formulas directly in the competitive exams. So first condition, a 2-hinged semicircular arch, a 2-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carries a concentrated load W at crown. So 2-hinged circular arch radius r carrying a concentrated load W at the crown. The drawing is a 2-hinged arch and it is semicircular. So the points B, A and B. what are the relations? H and V. And it is subjected to a point load, that is W at C, but be any hinge here. So what will be the value of VA? VA is equal to W by 2 and VB is equal to W by 2. In this case, the result of horizontal thrust H is equal to W by pi. In this case, the value for horizontal thrust H is equal to W pi pi. So H indicates horizontal thrust. So this is for 2-hinged semicircular arch of radius R carrying a load W at point C. So next condition. Condition number 2. A 2-hinged semicircular arch of radius R carrying a load W at a section that the radius vector corresponding to which makes an angle alpha with the horizontal. So not acting at the exact point, it will act some other point. So 2-hinged semicircular arch. 2-hinged semicircular arch of radius R. So carrying load W at section. So not at the exact crown point. So what is the what will be the diagram? So consider a 2-hinged arch. So it is subject to a load here W. So as it is a circular arch, we can make RG. This is R, and the angle which it makes the horizontal as alpha. Similarly, we have reactions VA and H and VB to H. And the formula H is equal to W by pi into sine square alpha. So the additional term is this sine square alpha. When a 2-hinged semicircular arch is subjected to a point load W at the crown center point C, then it will be H is equal to W by pi. If it is subjected, if the arch is subjected to the load at some other section other than the center point, then the formula to obtain the horizontal thrust H is equal to W by pi into sine square alpha, where alpha is the angle which the load makes with the center point 0 with respect to the horizontal. And here there is an hint that the horizontal thrust of 3-hinged arch, 3-hinged semicircular arch is always greater than horizontal thrust of 2-hinged semicircular arch. The horizontal thrust value of 3-hinged semicircular arch is always greater than that of the horizontal thrust of 2-hinged semicircular arch. So let's move on to the third condition. So the third condition is a 2-hinged semicircular arch, a 2-hinged semicircular arch of radius R carrying a UDL over the entire span. So subjected to UDL over the entire span. So now what will be the diagram? There will be a 2-hinged arch. And it is subjected to a UDL throughout the span. So let it be intensity W. And there will be H and VA. And the value is WR. And VB is equal to WR. So the formula for horizontal thrust H is equal to 4 by 3 WR by pi. For a semicircular arch of radius r carrying a UDL over the entire span, the horizontal thrust H is equal to 4 by 3 WR by pi. WR by pi. So moving on to the fourth condition. The fourth condition is a two-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carrying a distributed load uniformly varying from 0 at the left end to the W per unit run at the right end, nothing but UVL over the entire span. UVL over the entire span. Now what will be the drawing? So it is subjected to UVL like this. So 0 over the left support, that is 0, and intensity of W over the right support. So for this condition, H is equal to 2 by 3 into WR divided by pi. 2 by 3 into WR divided by pi. A two-hinged parabolic arch carries as a fifth condition a two-hinged parabolic arch. So which we have seen so far, it is for semicircular arch. So two-hinged parabolic arch having UDL throughout the entire span like this. It's a two-hinged parabolic arch carrying a UDL throughout the entire span. Then the value of H is equal to WL square divided by 8H. The value for horizontal thrust H is equal to WL square divided by 8H. So moving on to the sixth condition. When half of the parabolic arch is loaded by UDL. When half of the parabolic arch, in case of two-hinged arch, half of the span is subjected to UDL like this. So half of the span subjected to UDL. So now the formula is H is equal to WL square divided by 16H. WL square divided by 16H. And the seventh condition, when a two-hinged parabolic arch carries varying UDL. So two-hinged parabolic arch of varying UDL, 0 on the end A and intensity of W at end B. So UVL over the entire span. So here the value for horizontal thrust H is equal to WL square divided by 16H. And the eighth question, eighth condition is a two-hinged parabolic arch of span L and rise H carries a concentrated load W at the crown. So it is a two-hinged arch carrying a concentrated load W. Concentrated load at crown, where H is equal to 25 divided by 128 into WL divided by H. The value for horizontal thrust is equal to 25 divided by 128 into WL divided by H. Let's move on to some practice questions. A first question. First question, a two-hinged, note down this question, a two-hinged semicircular arch, a two-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carries a concentrated load W at the crown. W at the crown. The horizontal thrust is dash. A two-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carries a concentrated load W at the crown. The horizontal thrust is, this is a very easy question, and the options are W by 2 pi, option B W by pi, option C 2W by 3 pi, and option D is 4W by 3 pi. So turn over the pages and check which condition matches with it. A two-hinged semicircular arch of radius r carries a concentrated load W at the crown, and the horizontal thrust is W by pi. So we have seen if it is subject at the center, it will be W by pi. If it is at a section, it will be W by pi in the sine square arc. So moving on to the second question. Second question, equation of symmetrical parabolic arch of span L and rise H with the left support as origin is equation of symmetric parabolic arc of span L and rise H with left support. So the options for the question are y is equal to 4h square into L minus h the whole square divided by L square, and option B is y is equal to 4hx into L minus h the whole square divided by L square, and C is 4h h square into L minus h divided by L square, and option D is y is equal to 4h into L minus h divided by L square. So we know to find out, so let it be yc, we will keep this one as yc, and we find out this formula, we will use y is equal to 4yc divided by L square into h into L minus h. Here they have taken this yc, that is the critical height, as h. So what will be the equation? Y is equal to 4h into h into L minus h divided by L square. So the correct answer is option D. So moving to next question. If a two-hinged parabolic arch, if two-hinged parabolic arch is subjected to UDL is subjected to UDL over entire span the horizontal thrust will be the horizontal thrust will be put. Turn over the pages and find the formula. Option A, WL square by 3H. Option B, WL square by 4H. Option C, WL square by 6H. And option D, WL square by 8H. And we know that the answer is WL square by 8H. So if we use this result, then you can the time spent on solving these kind of numerical problems will be get reduced. So try to make use of the hints which are discussed in this class. So let us see in next gate class. Thank you.